All right, well, good evening, everyone. No. Let's try. There's a lot of veterans in here. I know you can do better than that. Good evening. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. So welcome to our storytelling night. I am Wanda Wright, the director for the Office for Veteran and Military Academic Engagement. We throw one or two of these a year because you can tell the vibe's pretty cool in this coffee house. And we enjoy honoring and sponsoring the stories that will be told tonight by veterans. So, gird your loins because some of them are pretty intense, but it's all good stuff. Our office is really about community engagement, which is great. We're all here together. We also do teaching and research around student veterans. And I always feel so great when I leave here because I know that one, it's a little therapeutic to read it, but it's also really therapeutic to hear it. And so we appreciate all the readers that are here today. And I thank you all for coming. If you're someone who's like helping somebody to be here today, I thank you as well. And so let me now introduce RD. She is a poet laureate. We have been collaborating now since I've been here, which is almost 3 years. She has been a great asset to our office, and I hope we have been to her as well. She's published. She's just outstanding. And so please give a hand to RD as she begins our program.
Thank you so much, Wanda. Good evening, everybody. Wow, I love being here. Welcome to Verses for Vets, the live in-person edition at Songbird. Let's give a big round of applause for Songbird. They love us for whatever reason, even though we're kind of loud and unruly. So they're always excited when we have an event. I am Dr. Rosemarie Dombrowski. I go by RD. I'm the daughter and sister of combat veterans. So I kind of consider myself that linchpin between the veteran and the civilian communities. And I want to not only welcome the veterans here tonight, but also the civilians, many of whom I know, who came to hear your stories. This is a super important event because it's not just a space where veterans get to support each other in community and share their stories. It's a space that expands civilians' understanding of the veteran experience. And that's the real community that we need to be working on, right? Is that civilian community that can embrace our veterans after service. I love this event for that reason and so many others. Another reason why I'm excited about tonight's event is because ASU has partnered with the West Valley Women Veterans Organization, which is a peer-led community group focused on connection, support, and leadership. And we're so excited and honored to have them with us tonight. That is their director right there, Jessica Rosa. She's going to be reading her story in a couple of minutes. So thank you so much for expanding our community. Thank you, veterans and civilians, for being here to hold space for everybody who's going to share a story or a song or a few poems tonight. With that, I'm going to introduce Travis Burns. He served in the U.S. Army Infantry from 87 to 91, including Korean Demilitarized Zone and the Persian Gulf War. He's now a veteran advocate, author, and singer-songwriter focused on veteran suicide, moral injury, and military family experiences. He teaches, not surprisingly, guitar at the Phoenix and Mesa Vet Centers, and he serves as the Phoenix VA Health System Advisory Council. Travis is the past chair of Unified Arizona Veterans and was inducted into the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame in 2019. Let's give it up for songwriter Travis Burns, you guys.
Thanks, RD. It's really good to be here tonight. Like she said, the vibe, we've all done our things and we've been where we're at. And may have had a little trauma from the drama and all that, but we're here tonight to hear each other's stories and stuff. Now, I did not serve with any women when I was in the military. I was in the infantry. It was before a lot of the stuff was integrated. So what I know about women veterans came to me after I got out. And I got back into the veteran space about 2010, 2012. Got seriously into it about 2015. And women veterans would tell me things and I would hear what they had to say. And I knew there would be a lot of them here tonight. Like Monday, I had recorded a video of this song to be played at a woman veteran friend of mine's memorial. So when we're going through the things that we're dealing with, and we've all got them, I heard a psychologist one time, Rachel Yehuda from Columbia, she said something about the reason we don't just leave all that stuff behind is because it's who we were. Not all of it was bad. You're never going to be as alive again as you were in the military. You're never going to be as alive. The first air assault I went on, the first time I went out in the jungle on the DMZ, and I'll tell you something funny about that. That was when heavy metal and muscle cars ruled the earth, and the North Koreans would play Welcome to the Jungle for us every time we went out in the DMZ. So that was a real eye-opener. Anyway, this song is for women veterans. I don't claim to know what they're thinking. I don't claim to know anything but what they've told me and what I've seen. So thank you for coming. Can you hear it? Jack, how we doing? Okay. She walks a little taller. She stands a little bolder. She doesn't look much different, but she feels a whole lot older. Things have really changed for her. It's more than what they told her. She's here to serve her country, American woman soldier. She couldn't know how it would be, the heartbreak, fear, and pain. She had to grow up really fast when she got off that plane. Seen that desert sun go down and rockets coming at her. She did what she was trained to do when it really mattered. American woman soldier, she just wants to serve. She's got the ability, she's got the nerve. Lots of things that she has done and places that she's seen in the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and Marines. She drove the truck, she flew the birds, and she did so much more. Did everything that she had to do when America went to war. American woman soldier just wants to do her part. She's got the dedication. She's got the heart. Some woman soldiers came back home, their trust was all but gone. Some they thought were brothers really did them wrong. So much less than they deserve, there's really no excuse. She didn't sign up to be betrayed, put down, or abused. That's a lot upon the shoulders of all those woman soldiers. Some would say that war's a place she really don't belong. American woman soldiers help to keep this country strong. She gets knocked down, she get back up, because that's what soldiers do. We need to remember that this country is hers too. American woman soldier, she promised with her life. She's more than someone's daughter, more than someone's wife. American woman soldier wants to serve and protect. Just like all the rest who serve, she's earned our respect. So we hope you walk a little taller and stand a little bolder. Hope you know we're proud of you, American woman soldier. Hope you walk a little taller and stand a little bolder. Thanks for all you did for us, American woman soldier. Thank you.
Let's give it up one more time for Travis Burns. That was a beautiful, beautiful song. Oh, I love that. Thanks so much for sharing that and kicking us off with it, especially given that we have West Valley women veterans with us tonight. And now I'm so honored to introduce Jessica Rosa. She served as a Eagle in the Army Reserve and Army National Guard and is a third-generation veteran. Her service and lived experiences have shaped her passion for advocacy, particularly for women veterans, survivors of crime, and those with justice involvement. She is the founder of West Valley Women Veterans, a peer-led community group focused on connection, support, and leadership. She's committed to advocacy and storytelling that breaks stigmas, reminds others that they are not alone, and supports healing. We're with you on that, Jessica, for sure. She is also celebrating over 5 years of sobriety, a milestone that reflects her commitment to her own growth and healing. Let's give it up for Jessica Rosa, everybody.
I'm a little short. All right. Travis, that was beautiful. I don't know where you went, but wherever you are, that was beautiful. And you had me crying already. So give me a minute to collect myself and I will go ahead and get started. As Travis mentioned, a lot of women veterans have some challenging experiences. I am one of those who had quite a bit of challenging experiences. I joined the military when I was 17, in between my junior and senior year of high school. So like Travis' song said, it's right on the money. I had to grow up really fast. And some of those experiences had to do with sexual assault, domestic violence, suicide. And so those are some themes that are in the poem I'm about to read. So if those are challenging topics for you, please take care of yourself. And I will go ahead and begin. All right. Healing out loud. I used to drink to disappear, to blur the edges of a world that cut too deep. Each swallow was survival, and each high transformed me into someone else. I needed to hush the echoes of hands that took without asking. I numbed the places that ached to be unseen. I called it coping. I called it peace. But it was only a way to erase. It was a quiet deal I made with myself and the devil to deal with my own pain. Good men tried to hold me, but even the kindness burned. My body flinched at gentleness. My heart confused safety for danger. Drink to stay still, to let touch happen without feeling it, to quiet my brain because I couldn't be in the moment, trying to experience safety while still haunted by what came before. Seeing ghosts move across my body as I tried to feel the pleasure of what was supposed to be. But numb isn't the same as healed. And one day, I wanted more than just to make it through another night. I told myself, just one day, then 2 weeks, then 30 days, and somehow I have made it to 1,917 and counting. The healing didn't come quietly. It comes from breaking the silence, from sharing the story I once buried in shame, because shame can only survive in the dark, and I refuse to keep feeding it. So I started speaking, crying, writing, letting the truth echo louder than the fear. And somewhere between the trembling and the telling, I started to come home to myself. So now I pursue a different kind of rush, not the chaos of escape, but the calm that comes with staying. Hope fills the hollow spaces where pain used to live, and I let it. It's the kind that hits slow, but it stays steady. It's the kind that says, you're still here, and you're meant to be here. And somehow now, I believe it. Healing hurts sometimes, but it's the kind of hurt that means you're living. I've learned to breathe through the tremors and let safe hands of my new husband prove that touch can be holy, that love can be calm and gentle. Healing taught me patience. It taught me how to sit with the shaking and how to let kindness rest on my skin and my heart without recoiling. To learn again that love doesn't have to hurt to be real. So I don't drink to forget anymore. I breathe to remember how far I've come, to remember why I choose to stay. My kids and my husband have now become my anchor, steady enough to hold me when I want to drift. Hope is my high now, steady, quiet, and strong enough to keep me here. And every time I taste it, I remember that I survived. I remember that I am still becoming. And I remember that healing has to happen out loud. Thank you.
Jessica, I loved that for so many reasons. I heard what you said about sharing. Pat Schneider, a spiritualist, wrote a book called it's about healing. It's about writing as a healing mechanism. And she said, when we write it down, we let the light in. When we share it, we fully let the light shine on whatever has held us down. And I just feel like you did that in such a powerful way tonight, Jessica. Thank you. Let's give her another round of applause, everybody. It's beautiful. Thank you, Jessica. We're so honored to have you and your group here tonight. Next, I'm going to invite up Chuck Hale, one of our ASU partners and most valued veteran speakers, writers, and advocates. Chuck Hale served nearly 7 years on active duty as a Marine infantryman, including participation in Operation Restore Hope in Somalia, and concluded his service as a sergeant and training chef in Iceland, where he trained Marines for cold weather operations in northern Norway and Greenland. Chuck Hale, everybody. And it's last call for drinks, but maybe wait until Chuck is done. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, RD. So I wasn't a chef. I didn't cook anything in the military. So, but so maybe it was my typo. But anyway, Operation Restore Hope really is the word hope's been my word of 2025, I guess. In 1992, I boarded a ship headed to the Middle East as a part of a Westpac with the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit. We were going to Kuwait for the ceasefire, and we got just past Singapore, and we got orders that we were going to go into Mogadishu. About 600,000 people had died of famine at that point. We went in there to my unit. We went in to go secure the airfield so they can get resupplies in there. But one of the most pieces of that hit me the most was packs. They tried to tell us what Somalia was. I didn't even know what the hell Somalia was. I didn't even know it was a country. But we get the smart pack starts telling us a little bit about the country that we're getting ready to go into, and you had a 25% chance to make it to your 5th birthday. 25% chance, and that just hit me. And I came home, and that stat became faces. Those faces I would see in my sleep, I'd see out of the corner of my eye. They were in my mind, and they stayed with me for a long time. And I did a lot of therapy. I tried to, manage these triggers, manage things that were around me. And it took a long time. It took a long time to really understand it. But Christmas of 2024, I wake up, we got stockings, and there's 3 kids from Uganda that are in our stockings. And my wife said, listen, you're going to go meet these kids. In November, you'll go to Uganda with an organization, the NGO there, and you're sponsoring them to go to school. And you'll get to go to Uganda in November. And I'm like, wow, this is, 11 months away. I got anxiety. I'm like, how am I going to go somewhere so far away from the people that support me and the things that I do daily? And it didn't really start with getting those kids in the stocking. It started with the additional therapies that I was doing, the different modalities of therapy, the poetry, giving me a safe to write about my experiences, not necessarily even military, but it's more about regrets that I have with my mother. One of them is I had the panic button hit on me at the VA hospital here at the Carl T. Hayden Medical Center while I was getting medical or mental health therapy. My mother was with me at that time. She's sobbing, like, what the hell's happening to my son? So the poetry, I did plant medicine last year with ayahuasca. I cried more in 3 nights than I had in 40 years. I was able to understand a lot better of me becoming more like time fuse and less like det cord. And that military terminology is det cord. You can't stop. The destruction happens. And that was the way I would react. So getting to go to Uganda was like, wow, how am I going to make sure that I know my triggers. I know what to expect. So I'm kind of shooting from the hip right now, and I hope I'm not like blabbering, but as I prepared for this trip, I was honest with myself about the anxiety that I was feeling. And I've talked to a lot of people about getting help for yourself, because not the way I did it is going to be the way you need to do it, but getting that help is there's so much available to you. So in that November, I got on a plane, took this 30-hour trip. There was only one other veteran that was on the trip, which was great because we connected really quickly. We started to have each other's back, per se, and going out to these villages and seeing these kids that I'd seen for many, many years, but being able to hold, being able to walk with them, digging a borehole so they don't have to walk 2 miles to go get dirty water. They're able to just walk 150 meters outside of their hut, which is 100 square feet with nothing else in it. It's dirt, but having that luxury. And before I went, and oh God, now I'm really getting off topic shit. I had right before I left, I had a flood in my house. So my office area where the laundry room is, my office is in the laundry room, flooded. And as I'm going there thinking like, shit, I just had water destroy part of my house. I'm going to a place where people wouldn't even understand how that could be a possibility. To just have the water would be destroy the house. That'd be fine. So with that, I came back with this. I still write these kids. I got to meet the kids. I got to give these kids backpacks that I support now, and just a beautiful moment. And to be able to know that I'm now kind of making this difference for these 3 kids, or even these other kids that I got to meet. I had been wanting to do that since December 9th, 1992, when we hit the beach there to secure the airfield, and these kids were excited to see us, but we weren't there to tickle them. We weren't there to make them laugh. We weren't there to hold their hands. And now I get to do that. So, for those of you that are trying to heal, there's so much shit out there for you. Go get the shit that's going to make you happy. All right. Thank you.
I know a little bit about this trip to Uganda, and Chuck didn't mention that ASU is working on an opportunity now for students to go to Uganda and do similar work. And that's thanks to Chuck. So not only are students' lives going to be enriched, but so many more children in that country because of you, man. Let's give him another round of applause, everybody. Beautiful. Michelle Leposki, so excited to have you with us tonight. Michelle is another one of our ASU community members. She's the Director of Development and Strategic Partnerships for the Pat Tillman Veterans Center at ASU. So she's involved in organizing lots of veteran-centered programming like Pat's Run and Trek for Vets. It's an honor to have her with us tonight, Michelle. Thank you so much.
There we go. That's perfect. Hi, everyone. Michelle here. I want to please pardon me for my exuberance and giddiness. I'm still on my euphoric high. This morning, I got to tandem jump with the Army Golden Knights. First time ever jumping out of a plane. And so I'm still coming down from all the emotions. I served 4 years in the Army as a medic. It was an honor to serve. I'm also second generation. My sister also served in the Army. I also currently, besides working at the Pat Tillman Veterans Center, I have the privilege of my 3rd year now being the teaching artist for Virginia G. Piper's Center of Creative Writing's Veterans Writing Circle. I got it, Kayla. It's a great space for all veterans, even dependents, to come and share your stories, just like tonight, to share your writings. It's like-minded individuals who use writing as a way of therapy. It is the most amazing outlet. It is what I have always used for myself. I just have a few poems I wanted to share, if that's okay. Listening to Chuck, I was like, oh, man, now I gotta go up here? All right, so this one, the first one's called I Think. I think in spilled ink, drowning in words, escapees from my prison, verses bleeding on white sheets, staining permanently. Of course, there are edits. Nonsense becomes logic. Well, haphazardly making it kind of witty. Reveries, oh, are we good? Revisions, a scratch here and there. Oh yes, omit that, but this, keep this. Ignore that blotch. And then rehearse over and over again until it dries in my memory. First one. I have to tell you, I am so full of joy listening to veterans speak, to provide a platform for them to tell their story. It's absolutely excruciating to come up here. And so to these two individuals to just be so brave, it's not only courageous, but inspiring. I'm not sharing any of that today because, again, I just jumped off of a plane. So just still riding on that. So, but this piece I wrote does share some pieces of my military. It's called I Wear My Life. Should I point this up? Be closer. Gosh, that scares me. Okay. I wear my life under my eyes, unscheduled harsh realities where hours of sleep is a luxury and stress is the muse lurking in dark circles. I put on a temporary mask to conceal it, yet most days I choose for the world to see the real me, unashamed to show my whereabouts, both pleasure and pain. I wear my life on my bare feet. Wear and tear is so visible. Obviously, I am a lover of dancing, sauntering, and delicious shoes. I walked, ran, and tiptoed, covering distances to safety, to victory, to escape. I wear my life in these two hands, encountered rough waters, stitched, screaming wounds, and heavy weights they have carried. Small, but strong, aged, but resilient. Not the hands of privilege, but hands that have worked, played, and loved relentlessly. They deserve more care through the years, somewhat adorned, hardly polished. They haven't complained too much yet. I wear my life in every blink, stride, and touch, in every stare, fall, and punch, in every wink, stance, and grasp, in every memory, dream, and breath. Two more. Since Chuck said shit 7 times, I was like, I guess curse words is allowed here. Yes, RD? I promise there's only 2 bad words in this one. This is my ode. I moved here from New Jersey. So I'm a brown girl who doesn't know how to watch my mouth half the time. I used to work in the beautiful city called New York. And so this is my ode to her. Her track lines were my lifeline. Veins I ride along her eyelid. She is cold steel with soft spots. You just have to find them. Find that spot and like Biggie, be hypnotized by the funk in the air that she suffocates you with, a stench you can't get rid of, stained in your memory forever. Stroll along her cemented streets. Look up and be blinded by her tall strands of silver and black hair. Good luck in finding the sun. There's a bodega I used to go on the northeast corner of Washington Square Park where I get a cup of black and sweet and where I get a cup of black and sweet and a bialy, if there were any. Sitting with her on the park bench, she rewarded me with her own quiet way, our own quiet way. Damn, I miss her. Now, I know she's not for everyone. Feared, misunderstood, a turnoff for many, because she is in your face, egotistical, flamboyant, and she doesn't know how to shut up. When my stomach was eating my backside, in the AM, I grabbed my favorite fruit, bacon, egg, and cheese. Any other time, it's a slice or a water dog, but most always a slice. Over the top in everything she does. She doesn't expect you to like her. She doesn't expect you to get her. Hell, she doesn't give a fuck if you like her. And that's why, deep down, whether it's disgust or adoration, she left that mark on you. You will have stories of how you did her. And what she did to you. Damn, I love her. Woo! Last one. All right. I love freely with no hesitation. For a blink is a blink, and it's all the time I got. The only regret is to hold back. A broken heart is a brave one. I love freely knowing I can still see my breath on a cold city night when all I want to do is taste snowflakes. Because melting is feeling and feeling is living. Make no mistake, I am scared shitless, but I refuse to deny myself to look like a fool, because fools are daredevils and daredevils are superheroes. And I'm the only heroine in this story. Thank you. Oh, and please join Veteran Writing Circle.
Michelle, that was a dynamic and adrenaline-filled set of poetry. Let's give Michelle another round of applause, everybody. So great having you tonight. Is Julia here? Julia Barup. I don't have a bio for you, but would you like to share tonight? No, you're going to pass? Okay. I'm sorry that I called you out. I thought maybe you had something to share. Next time. You have a poem that you would like to read? Please come up then. Absolutely. We don't need a formal bio from you. Are you from the West Valley Women's? Okay, wonderful. Come on up. We're so happy to have you. Everybody, this is Julia Barup, and I'm sure she's going to tell us something about her service when she gets here. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Hi, I'm Julia Barup. I am an Army veteran. I spent 10 and a half years in the reserve and active duty, 9.5 years active and a year in the reserves. I traveled all over the world. I am a third-generation veteran as well. I graduated high school and went in the military and went on, did other things. And I married a captain of the Air Force who's my rock. And I am a cancer survivor. My poem is called Psalm of the Faithful Warrior. It's not much, but it is me. I'm a strong Christian, so this is about that. It says, "O Lord, my commander and my comforter, you called me from the quiet places, and you set my feet upon the solid ground. You trained my hands for battle, but my heart for peace. I'm your daughter, once sheltered, now steadfast. Through storms and through silence, you whispered, 'Be still and know that I am your God.' Let those words settle in your heart. I'm your sister, standing beside those who march, lifting the weary and biting the broken, reminding them that no soldier fights alone. The truth rests. I am your mother. I cradle both dreams and scars. I teach the courage that is born with faith and outshouts the fear. When I walked through the valley of the shadow of death, you lit my way and marked my path. When I felt the weight of the uniform and the ache of the absence of it, you carried me in unseen arms. You're my banner. Above all the battles, the calm after the siren's cry. You stitched purpose in my wounds, and you turned my service into a song. I lift my voice in gratitude, not for ease, but for endurance. Not for comfort, but for the calling. Not for medals, but for mercy. Lord, for you are my refuge and my redeemer, my steady heartbeat, and the march of daughter I follow. As a sister, I serve. As a mother, I nurture. As a soldier, I believe. Forever my faith will stand at attention until the day you'd call me home. I rest, honored and whole in your eternal peace. Thank you.
What a beautiful, prayerful, spiritual piece, Julia. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're so happy to have women here from West Valley Veterans Organization. Thank you again. Let's give another round of applause to Julia, everybody. Thank you so much, Julia. I think I'm going to call Rocky up next. Rocky Peasy is a prolific poet. He's a veteran of the Air Force. He served in Vietnam, and I'll let him take it away from here. I met him at our last storytelling event and had to invite him back out. So let's give it up for Rocky.
That's right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that introduction. And Julie, that was remarkable. You're really a tough act to follow. That was beautiful in so many ways. I didn't jump out of an airplane to get me excited, but my book is published. So I'm pretty excited about that. So this is my first book, and it's full of poems and short stories. But I have selected a couple of them. But as RD said, I'm an Air Force veteran. I was in Vietnam in 1969. The Air Force guys that with us then, those days, were not combat troops. We were just combat support. We made sure the military, the Army, and the other guys had the stuff they needed to, to fight the battles, to win the war, and all that. We really didn't get close to anything other than maybe being an augmentee with a 101st or something. But for the most part, we were just Air Force guys and sitting on the base and, But let me just read this. It's called Oh Bitter Days. Oh, bitter days, there was more I could have done. I feel as though I didn't pull my weight. Oh, bitter days, I was there like the rest of them, only further away from the pain and death. Oh, bitter days, survivor's guilt rests within me. I should have, could have done more. Oh, bitter days, I didn't realize then what I feel now, for I was too young. Oh, bitter days. People tell me it's okay. They can say all they want, but it's not okay. Oh, bitter days. I had a choice I could have made, and now a voice within me says I would not have been afraid. All right, then I just have one more I'd like to do. This is called Inside of Me. There was a man I used to be. I thought myself unchanged until myself was taken over by someone I didn't know. He came into my being. I'm not sure how it began. He took his place in my life, who I was then ceased to be. At first, I tried not to notice. I thought it was just me, coming home from so much confusion to a place that used to be. People I love and those that love me said they must be mistaken, for the man they saw coming home was not the man they used to know. I tried many times to expel him. At all of these I failed. So now I try to live with a man who now is me. What are the effects of he who I've become? Will they trickle down too far to the ones that are very close to me? How long can I endure? The thoughts that are constantly inside my mind, I do not share them all. For if I said what I think I could, I'd be lost forevermore. So I will live as best I can, trying to be true. And those who love and trust me will look inside for the man I used to be. Thank you very much. And I'm a second generation veteran. My dad was a fought in the Pacific, earned a couple of Bronze Stars. So that's a proud heritage for me. And I will be the last of my family as in the military, as my children are not inclined. But anyway, thank you all very much for having me and for listening to me. I appreciate it.
Rocky, we're so happy that you have written so prolifically in the last few years that you had enough to comprise a book. That's a big deal, you guys. Let's give Rocky another round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing that with us tonight. Always great to have you. I've known Nadine Wiedock for a couple of years now. I've met so many amazing veteran writers through Issued, Stories of Service, the journal that I publish annually for OVMAE. I did not meet Nadine in the journal. I met her here on this stage, and yet I never remember any element of your bio except that you're a fantastic poet. So I think that's what matters most. You can tell everybody about your service if you want, but let's welcome Nadine Wiedock to the mic. I know she's an ASU graduate student. She's been with us for a couple of years. Love having her. Are you social work? Why can't I? I knew it. Social work. I remembered her majorly. You graduated already? Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I just graduated not too long ago. I'm actually a school counselor now. So I love it. Is this okay? Is that too loud? I feel like I hear an echo. So I am, let me pull this up real quick because I'm nervous. So I've done this a couple times and I still get nervous. So just bear with me. Kind of a disclaimer as well. My first poem, so I'll share two. My first poem is at a darker time in my life, and so there are suicidal ideations in that poem. So if that is something that is an activating event for you, please excuse yourself. Don't feel like you have to continue to sit on my behalf. Okay, with that, I was a National Guard medic for almost 9 years. I served overseas and active in the Guard for about 5 years. Okay. Lost and alone, sitting in the desert, lost and alone, regretting that I ever drove and left home. I know this weight is mine to bear. They deserve so much more than I have to share. My skin is crawling, body tense, shaking. Breathe in, breathe out, squeezing myself, hoping to snap out. Like a loose cannon, ignited, I fly. Crashing into the foundation and shamefully muttering by. Chose to leave because it's best for you. Selfish mom, partner, sister, daughter, and friend for all I've put you through. Out of control and grasping for straws in an instant, revealing all of my flaws. Out the door I'll go, tail between my legs, riding away on the reaper's bike pegs. Wait, before I leave, I'll give you one more kiss. Make things harder. I'm merely a memory you'll miss. Seen things, done things, focus is trapped, locked in, processing, but my cycle stuck on spin. Living on is an honor and a privilege carried. Left out is the pain and guilt held for all who lie buried. Revealing dark to the light builds. There it goes. False balance begins to tilt. I got it. Overwhelmingly and overconfidently I yelp. Too easy. Shit, I'm losing it. It's all gonna fall. Help. Exhaustion, fatigue continues to rise. Lost, looking for help, but it doesn't arrive. Crash, it plummets to the ground. Guess some want what's lost to never be found. Others search, but not without that look in their eye. You know, the look that's screaming, you're broken inside. Concealment removed, vulnerability exposed, relationships jumbled, point of views juxtaposed. A rough road mine to travel, and it's only just begun. Battling, knowing this choice can't be undone. Knowing how to be, not knowing how to be what you need me to be, but knowing you'll be better with someone not like me. Staring at the pill bottle, there's no sense of peace. Not wanting to leave, but I'm struggling. Please, just pop the top. No, it's not me, it's not my time. Fuck it, I don't know. Stop. The strength you can find. I promise, I've reached for help. I'm just too broken inside. No matter what, there's nowhere to hide. How can I be the Venus flytrap, yet also the fly? No meds, no therapy has helped me revive. My son, my daughter, I love you most of all. My hope is giving out. Maybe it's time to fall. I promise you'll be better in the long run. Daddy will be there to protect you, my daughter and my son. I'll sit here and fade, no one will know. Sitting in the desert, dying, lost and alone. No, what's wrong with me? Toss them and go. Turn the car on. It's time to drive home. Facing the shame, but another day to live. I know what I feel, but I have so much more to give. Kisses and giggles as I walk through the door. My heart plummets down and plops to the floor. Pushing through as the day draws to an end. I couldn't imagine not being here to kiss your sweet heads and hearing you say, Mama, I love you. A tear rolls down my cheek. I love you too. I promise each day I'll fight to be alive. One day I might even thrive. My life will not slowly decay. Lost and alone in the desert, I won't stay. So I didn't know there's like a whole women's veteran thing going on tonight, but I wrote this today actually. Definitely hits the theme of like woman empowerment and empowering yourself. So if it's a little rough, I'm sorry, but it's called Today's the Day. Today, yes, today. Me that's pushed away, standing, I reclaim. The mirror reflected who was to blame. It was me, fulfilling what others said I should be, standing there confused. My womanhood, my me, I've abused. Inner emptiness, outer perception to society I submit, and I'm the culprit. The manicured flower, perfect to pick, displayed without growth. Oh, what a sick trick. Rotting and decaying, but no longer quietly obeying. My womanhood should not count for less. Underestimate me. You'll become the damsel in distress. Change rang. I refuse to silence the call, but I won't lose my nurturing nature for all. Remember, I'm a lady, a woman, and free. Today, I finally see the emptiness can all be resolved by denying your identity the chance to dissolve. Your complexity is a breathtaking view. The choice is on you. Life has given you more, and your complexity you cherish and adore. Don't leave your sense of self at bay. Today, I reclaim. Today's the day.
Nadine, you always leave us with such a sense of resilience. Thank you so much for sharing your awesome poetry. Such a great reader, too. Everybody give it up for Nadine Weedock one more time. Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, the beauty, the bravery, the emotion tonight. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. Now you guys know why. Next up, I'm going to bring Doc Pardue to the mic. What I will say about him before he gets here is that he is the artist who painted this beautiful painting. I know that PTSD is in the title. It sort of represents his PTSD journey. I will let him tell you a little bit more about that. If you want to take that painting home with you, you might be able to buy it, or you could just buy a copy of Issued Volume 3 because we used his painting on the cover. So we love working with Doc. He's a prolific writer, poet. He's a Vietnam veteran, was a medic in Vietnam. I will let him read you his bio proper, but it's always an honor to have Doc take the stage and share some of his beautiful stories with us.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Doc. Let's give it up for Doc.
Well, how was everybody tonight? What an amazing night this has been. I've even cried tonight. It's sometimes I fight that. But you know, I heard and always was brought up to believe that men don't cry. They do, and they need to. My journey from Vietnam was 57 years ago. I was with a recon platoon in the 9th Infantry, 60 people in my unit, 26 didn't make it home. I deal mostly with survivors go, why not me? But I have a mission that I have because I dealt. These women were totally amazing. I remember one nurse I watched in the hospital because I sent one of my guys there. And they put him in a hallway. And what they do when they have somebody they know is going to pass, they call him the expected. He was expected. I'm there, just standing there near him. And this nurse walks by and he moans and says something. She comes over and she says, "Can I help you?" He said, "Mama." This woman had such a big heart that she crawled up in his bed and held on to him. And then she prayed, "Lay me down to sleep." And this soldier passed believing he was with his mother. These nurses were totally amazing. They came to Vietnam. I call a lot of these women closet vets. A lot of them don't even ever admit they were in the service. I have been at the Vietnam Wall at the Women's Memorial 5 times, been asked to keep coming back and giving talks about the women. I consider it a great honor. I just got back from DC. The last time I spoke at the Women's Memorial was last Memorial Day. I just got back from DC because I was given an award called Service Beyond Service. There were 49 out of 3 million Vietnam veterans that were honored. I'm sure there are going to be more in the future. I consider it an honor, but more of a responsibility than anything else. So I'm going to read 2 or 3 things. The first one's going to be kind of light, humorous. Now, has anybody had C rations in the military? Whoa. Okay. I got me a case of the C ration blues. I joined the Army in 1967 looking for a venture. Told me I would never leave the land of the free. I wondered then, how did I end up in Vietnam? He said the food was great, sleep in a warm bed every night. I found out real fast while eating out of a box, my recruiter lied to me. Now I got a case of the C ration blues. He didn't tell me too many correct things. Yeah, he was right. There was an adventure. Got to see the mountains, the paddies, the jungles. The bed was any place I could lay down my head. My recruiter's lips were moving, and boy, did he lie to me. My recruiter gave me a case of the C ration blues. I've been walking the least infested streams, was dropped off by a helicopter. Hey, where you going, buddy? Come back. Then on patrol boats, then came the armored personnel carriers. He certainly saw me coming and gave me a nasty case of the C ration blues. What do you mean? Put the diesel in the drum and light it now. Stir it with a stick. Man, oh man, that smells just like shit. I went to take a dump, and when I asked what the paper was, I was handed that little brown package and found a little roll of paper. I swear it still had pieces of wood in it. They gave me a case of the sandpaper C ration blues. I tried eating out of those cans inside the little boxes a time or two. I find that I like bone turkey, beans and French, and spaghetti. Someone handed me a package once with ham and lima beans. Ooh. They turned my stomach inside out, so I had to spit it out. Didn't know why they were called ham and mothers. They sure gave me a case of the backup C ration blues. Now that I'm home, eating hamburgers and fries, I brought home a little brown box. Going to find that dear old recruiter of mine. I want to take and shove them where the sun don't shine, and finally give him a case of the C ration blues. This one is a little bit about my journey about PTSD. Now, it's not no longer called post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not a disorder. It's a reaction to an event of trauma that happens to people. There's nothing wrong with you except going through hurt, trying just to survive one more day. This one's entitled The Old Man and the Woman in the Mountain. Along life's journey, I had to learn a thing or two. Sometimes we got to climb a mountain to overcome our fear, or it will get the best of you. I met an old man on the road one hot day in the sun. He said to me, "Son, you look mighty troubled." I replied, "You can see that clearly?" He told me it was in my eyes. It was a sure giveaway. All he could see was the pain, the hurt, the agony. He told me, if you want true healing, you need to face it today. True healing comes from overcoming the ideas of could have and should have. He told me, in Vietnam, you did the best. You did not fail or fall. See that mountain straight ahead? Contains all the answers that you seek. I turned to ask a simple question, but he was gone. His name I started to call. I began to climb the mountain. I heard voices begin to say, "Go back." It wasn't even safe for them. I replied, nothing will stop me from finishing the day. As I reached the midway point, I heard someone cry. It was Doubt. He had been discovered, faced head on. He was such a coward. Began to fade and die. I thought to myself, that was too easy. He seemed strong. He had been my partner for the past 50 years or so. I usually gave in to him, but not today. Not any longer. Renewed in self-confidence, I began to climb. Then I heard the evil laugh of the twins, fear and worry. Their voices in the clouds did chime. I climbed faster now. I knew I could not stop, for I had to take them down to the task, to rid their life and mine. I knew what I had to do, throw them down from the top. I reached the top, and they were ugly to my sight. We began to struggle to see who would win the day. They taunted and they screamed as we began our fight. You can't win if we have controlled you far too long. We know your every weakness. I was bound and determined that in my life, they didn't no longer belong. I grabbed Worry by the throat and shook him with all my might. I squeezed the very life out of him and tossed him off the side. Then it was Fear's turn. I hated him most of all. It was me or him that would win today. I had glanced, and in his big brown eyes, there I saw it. He was terrified. He tried to run away, and he tripped and fell off the side, falling to his death. Now I knew I had another chance to begin my life over without worry, fear, or doubt. I know that Vietnam is a part of my life and will continue to be, but now I can live my life a little less pain-free. And I'm going to end with a story about one of them, about the nurses. This one is called She Ain't Just a Second Lieutenant. While I'm finding this, I wanted to tell you that 8 military women died in Vietnam. One died during combat during a mortar attack, Sharon Lane from the 312th Evac Hospital. They're not the only women who died in Vietnam. There were 67 civilians whose name is not on the wall, and very few people know who they are. They were reporters. They were Red Cross workers. They were news reporters. They were women who served a couple of CIA ages. Oh, I gotta find this. I'm sorry. Okay. She ain't just a second lieutenant. Not sure when she called home. She stayed pretty much alone. The job was tough, long, and hard. She made it look easy, setting her emotions aside. She worked on the boys from back home. When she arrived, she was easygoing and soft. But war changes people, brings out their best and their worst. She would not give up on the dying boys. She would order them not to die. If she came home walking and not in a bag. Second lieutenant, I swear at the end of her tour, was better, knew just what to do. She would work with the head wounds and the blind. She was their sister, mom, and wife. Sitting and talking to them, trying to help them find their way. No one knew that at the end of a shift, she would just go back to her room and cry. In the open on the job, she was calm and positive. No one knew the pain she buried deep inside. 45 years later, she still lives alone at home. She remembers and she still cries, but she never became a sister, mom, or wife. I lost too many brothers. Was a widow time and time again. My sons died, PTS, and Agent Orange is killing all the rest. Don't you know who I am? I ain't just a second lieutenant, not more. I am your sister, mom, and wife. Damn it, I order you to live.
Beautiful reading, as always, Doc. I've read a lot of Doc's poems, and what he does better than just about anybody is he commemorates his comrades. He commemorates their lives and their service, and he does it beautifully in poetry. So let's give it up one more time for Doc. Great stuff. Celia, are you here? Wonderful. We'll introduce you as you're walking to the stage. Celia Prince served with the Army National Guard from 2006 to 2012 in Augusta, Kansas. She now spends her time with West Valley Women Veteran and HHA, which you can explain to us, connecting with other veterans through socials and art. We're so happy to have another member of West Valley Women Veteran with us here tonight. Let's give it up for Celia. No? 1 minute.
I will explain what HHA is. HHA is Heal Her Art. It's once a month, every Saturday, the first Saturday of the month at the American Legion Post 1. If you're a woman veteran, please come. It's free. It's all women. It's incredible. I feel like an artist. I'm not an artist, but I always feel like one when I leave. So try Heal Her Art. Look it up. It's on Facebook. And it's Dana Ramsey. Yeah, HHA. Sorry, yeah. And it's really cool because coming up in April at the VA Creative Arts Festival, 54 of us women, is it 54, 55? We all painted 4x4 little paintings, and we're making one big painting that's going to be in the art festival.
Hi, I'm Celia Prince. So like you heard, I am part of art groups like Healer Art and the West Women Valley Veterans. And by being a part of the West Valley Women Veterans, it really gave me the opportunity to feel seen and heard, and most importantly, listened to. And I've been going through a really lot of fuckery, and I've been fighting stage 4 cancer since 2013. So I've had a dark night of the soul, and I painted this picture that you can look at that kind of helps explain this. I might be mentioning things you might not be familiar with, so I just want to tell a story, and I'm going to try to keep a nice even pace because this is very personal. But here we go. Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, 7:48 p.m. Phoenix, Arizona, 73 degrees Fahrenheit, self-care journaling, listening to Taylor Swift, Final Draft. She looked back at me with eyes I had seen before. It was as if each glimmer was Morse code for joy, insisting not to be ignored. Dove the depths, discovered kinship was what spoke beauty to me in your soul. Little by little, a new path opened up, and the emotions redirected into an avenue of expansion. No one ever said healing or growth, the journey you experience, will be easy, or just what alchemy means to transmute Lilith in her Ophiuchus era. Now, I know for sure that I didn't lose her. I just handed her back the mic. She gasped for air. I can't say the word. Exhaled. Oh, I can breathe again. I can finally breathe again. I can fucking breathe again. Finally. She danced on the graves of the unspoken. Resurrected in the darkness, emerging with friends in the shadows. She bowed down to no one but her creator, source of the universe she has witnessed to. The vision to reach the world, as ambitious as it of an act as it is, still needed a seed to make it grow. And what do you know? Whimsy is a form of resistance. It defies the odds by making, taking, and creating space. Surely you cannot know or see or feel the expansion that goes on about as the heat rises. She howled as if she had no rights to worrisome thoughts, unable to wish away, to thinking and having opinions with emotions. Ugh. In crept the embers, the flashes, and the ever-growing intensity, like its own kiln. Out when the vapors of vipers unspent, quick into the night, the fight went unsurpassed by the blazing path of an ego's legacy, unhurried by the notion of whence cometh dawn. Beloved, never knowing what I was accepting in order to belong, to be acceptable, I wailed as if I needed them on my back. Slowly, slowly, as you slowly, as you quietly, not so quietly, erased with your whitewashed brushes every stroke, every fiber of my experiences, and rewrote the scripts, for I could no longer be her. She was no longer becoming enough to everyone. I knew her when, they would say, as if I were no longer present. Where do I stand in this lineup? On the firing squad's never-ending rapid-fire investigation, interrogation, hostage in my own home, in my own mind? I've had enough. She asked me why did we need to go through the dark night of the soul, then whispered the secrets of the unspoken right there in the open. She knew no shame, for she had already been jailbroken. She spoke with wisdom foreign to acceptance. What you don't know until it's become a part of you. So the time has come to tell the rolling sea and its markers with the tide. Perhaps I was too trusting. Perhaps I was. And maybe that was the idea. But maybe not. When trust has eroded and the benefit spent in the doubt bank, you can say, I've had enough. There's no more benefit of the doubt to give. But what if, not for lack of trying, you can't seem to retrieve your voice back from the siren? How do you raise yourself up and out from the depths that would become you? Become you. Take a deep breath. Prepare to exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Minute of your time can change your life, let alone a few months. But what you can't see in the throes of the rolling wave barreling down on you is that you can survive the storm. And if you ever find yourself in the eye of the needle, where the chaos kisses the storm. Just know that you don't have to become one with it. Then, when the siren song is long and strong, beckoning for me to let her take my voice again, I'll know she can't understand that I have not been placed here to suffer. And I'm sorry I couldn't give more without losing myself. Because you see, my resistance is joy and whimsy, taking and making and creating and defying all the motherfucking odds with my shadows. Thank you.
Celia, thank you for sharing such a personal story in such a powerful and performative way. Beautiful stuff. I could see the influence of Heal Her Art, which is Dana Ramsey's organization. Thank you again, West Valley Women Veterans, for infusing tonight with your beautiful stories of resilience and recovery. Celia's was just another one. How fantastic. We love having you guys. I know there's a few other people here who might have RSVP'd who I don't have bios for. I just want to make sure that I've gotten everybody to the mic who wanted to come to the mic. Moises, a little bird told me that you might want to read. Moises Mejia? All right, wonderful. I will let you do your own introduction, everybody. Let's give it up for Moises.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. I've been participating in the Veterans Writing Circle with Michelle and Kyler for about a little bit over a year. Generally, we get 2 writing prompts, one in advance and one during the class. And for the one in advance, a couple minutes, I'm like, oh, crap, it's writing circle. Let me see what I can do real quick. And then for the one during class, they'll give us like 10 minutes and I'll spend 8 minutes spinning around in my head. What am I going to write? What am I going to write? And then the last 2 minutes, just like rewriting the same sentence over and over. So I say all of that just to introduce that the 2 pieces I'm going to read are the only 2 pieces I've been able to finish in this year and change that I've been participating in this writing circle. But it's certainly been fun and it's been an adventure. So for the first one, we were challenged to write haikus, and I kind of ran with it. I strung together a bunch. I just started writing haikus, and then I strung them together, and this is what came out. It's called The Trail of Haiku. I went for a run from the base of the mountain. It's a marathon. Starting line at dawn. The superstitions looked on, views like no other. Leg cramps slowed me down. The desert urges me on. Can will defeat pain? Finish line ahead. Cheers. Jeers. Tears. The Dutchman awaits. Last push to the end. A trail in my feet are all I need to find God. Not white Jesus, though. So yeah, that was the first one. The first one I actually finished as part of this adventure. The second one, I didn't know the theme of tonight, and this is the second one I finished, and it just sort of works perfectly with the theme of tonight. So the prompt was an ode to a woman, and this is what I wrote. An ode to a woman was the assignment. An ode to a woman, and I was stuck. Because there wasn't a single woman. No, not just one. How could I choose just one? How could I not choose the rest? Because there is no me without them, all of them. The women in my life, post-tensioning my foundation, strengthening and reinforcing the man I am today, the parts that make me, me. There's Abuelita Petra, raised by a single mother during the throes of revolution, fiercely independent as only a child escaping a husband 30 years her senior can be. And Abuelita Mariela, for 40 years successfully hiding her joy from me behind the firm and stern facade of my childhood. Or Abuelita Jovita, mother of 12, spouse to a migrant worker, most years gone 11 of 12 months. Of course, there is my mother, undeterred by a callous counselor who told her she was too ignorant for a GED in college. A mother of 6 in a foreign land, learning a strange language and earning her master's to teach kids who need some extra help. And the mother of my babies, whom I will always be grateful for the life and lives she has given me. My baby girl, my Chabelita, fiercely adventurous and free, sharing compassion along her way. My adopted daughters, partners to my boys, mothers to my grandbabies, creating a whole new level of joy and purpose in my life. And the newest little ladies in my life, already full of music, sass, and spice, without any words. No, I can't choose just one, because they each bore through my core, anchor me in place, the structure of who I am.
I'm so glad I asked, Moises. Thank you so much for sharing. You and Mel and the Veterans Writing Circle are welcome to join us live at Songbird anytime. We loved having you guys tonight. What a great new crowd of veteran writers we had with us tonight. Between West Valley women veterans and the Writing Circle, what a joy for us. What a joy for us, old ASU peeps, to have you guys in the mix. And unable to stop my son this time. So welcome B-Man to the stage behind me. Actually, I'm going to let Ian Atkinson close us out. He does not generally share his own writing, but he works for OVMAE. He works with Wanda and Stacy. Yeah? Oh, I switched there. Yeah, that was Stacy's fault. I asked you if his name was Ian Burton, and then you told me Atkinson. Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay. Ian Burton, that's what I thought his name was. He does not do much of his own writing, but what I can tell you about Ian is he works for OVMAE, and he is a scholar of military literature like nobody's business. I went into like guest lecture for the Warrior Scholar Project, and Ian was like, have you read this? Have you read this? Have you read this? Have you read this? And I was like, no, but I'm going to need you to be my TA now. So not surprisingly, he found a great poem authored by somebody else that he's going to close us out with tonight. So again, thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. Thank you to the civilians. Thank you to the veterans. Thank you to West Valley women veterans. Thank you to the Veterans Writing Circle. And of course, thank you to our fearless director, Wanda Wright at OVMAE, who makes all of these events possible. Pick up a copy of Issued before you leave. We will be inviting you to the launch of Issued Volume 4, which is coming up in just about a month. But pick up an issue of Volume 3 before you leave tonight. And Ian, take them. I'll sit right behind you.
So the way my brain works is I read something and then forget it, and then it comes back to me like years later. I bought this book of poetry. It's written by a veteran. His name is Tony Mena. He wrote this for his friend Kyle Powell, who was a Marine who died on November 6, 2006. He won the 2010 War Poetry Contest with this. His book is called The Shape of Our Faces No Longer Matter. I highly recommend you pick it up. So this poem is called So I Was a Coffin. They said you are a spear, so I was a spear. I walked around Iraq upright and tall, but the wind blew and I began to lean. I leaned into a man who leaned into a child, who leaned into a city, and I walked back to them and neatly presented a city of bodies packaged in rows. They said, no, you are a bad spear. They said, you are a flag, so I was a flag. I climbed to the highest building in the city that had no bodies, and I smiled, and I waved as hard as I could. But I waved too hard, and I caught fire, and I burned down the city. But it had no bodies. But they said, no, you are a bad flag. They said, you are a bandage, so I was a bandage. Oh. And I jumped on Kyle's chest and wrapped my lace arms together around his torso and pressed my head to his rib cage and listened to his heartbeat. And then I was full, so I let go and wrung myself out. And I jumped onto Kyle's chest and wrapped my lace arms together around his torso and pressed my head to his rib cage and listened to his heartbeat. And then I was full, so I let go and wrung myself out. And I jumped on to Kyle's chest and wrapped my lace arms together around his torso. And I pressed my head to his rib cage, but there was no heartbeat. They said, no, you are a bad bandage. They said, you are a coffin. So I was. I found a man. They said he died bravely, or he will. I encompassed him within my finished wood and shut my lid around us. As they lowered us into the ground, he made no sound because he had no eyes and could not cry. And as I threw dirt upon us, we held our breaths together, and they said, yes, you are a good coffin.
What a way to close us out, Ian. Thank you again. Thank you again to everybody who shared their stories tonight, especially. Let's give everybody who read another round of applause. Beautiful stuff. Thank you guys so much. It enriches all of us. It's a gift.
Make sure you come back next year. Thanks for coming.